welcome to Info Hub. Here's what you need to know for today, Thursday, July 5, 2018. Cabinet approves a significant state pension increase. Norway releases $27 billion for forest agreement. Hydropower plants coming on stream for several hinterland communities, and Guyana's rum route being planned. The details of these stories and much more right now as we begin with Cabinet Roundup from Stacey Carmichael.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon today announced that state pension increased threefold from $10,000 monthly to $30,000. Cabinet on Tuesday approved a submission for the increase in the maximum annual rate of the state pension from $120,000 to $360,000. He also announced that Professor Noel Muniz, a well-known Guyanese historian, will now be paid a state pension. According to the minister, she has met the eligibility criteria under the State Pension Act, describing her as most deserving. Cabinet has discussed the payment of the second tranche of severance to sugar workers in keeping with its commitment.
Several ministries were actually asked to do a cutback on their budgetary allocations, and we anticipated that all of the money will come from that process. Half of it has already been paid, and the second tranche will take place. It will come directly from government sources that will be paid in the second half of the year.
The state minister this morning updated Prime Minister and Acting President Moses Nagamutu on the flood situation in Lethem and Tabatinga in the Rupununi. The Prime Minister was updated that waters in the area have risen up to 5 feet between 5 hours and 11 hours yesterday, Wednesday, July 4, and that 25 residents were evacuated and are being housed at the Culvert City Primary School, Tabatinga Community Center, and the Amerindian Hostel. Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson, is in the region and assessing the state of public infrastructure. Minister Harmon will lead a team which will include Civil Defense Commission officials to Lethem and Tabatinga Friday, July 6.
We have a regional emergency operations center, and that operations center is very active. Some of the items these are just preliminary assessments. We're looking at aviation fuel to support emergency medical evacuation, should that become necessary in remote areas. We're talking about purification, water purification tablets, water storage containers, and food and bedding for the residents who are in shelters. I have been advised by the Civil Defense Commission that these items are available and can be deposited there at short notice.
The minister said community radio stations established in the hinterland have been playing an important role in keeping affected citizens abreast with government intervention. For Info Hub, Stacey Carmichael.
Guyana is set to benefit from a major breakthrough in the Norway agreement. The country now has access to some $27 billion following fruitful talks in Oslo, Norway. This disclosure was made today by Minister of State Joseph Harmon. Details in this Stacey Carmichael report.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon and a delegation including Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman, Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson, and Project Manager, Office of Climate Change Marlon Bristol, returned from Oslo, Norway, where fruitful talks were held with a Norwegian ministerial delegation. Impressed with the government's 2025 energy mix proposal, our deforestation rate of 0.05, one of the lowest, and the role President David Granger has been playing in championing sustainable development, Norway has unlocked billions of dollars under the Norway Forest Agreement. These monies will be placed into the trustee account for release to Guyana following an urgent trilateral meeting with representatives of Norway, Guyana, and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB.
They indicated very clearly that the sums of money which were held as a result of the agreement, that there was $40 million which we had earned and which had not been transferred to the trustee account, and that they indicated that they were prepared to do that immediately. There was $80 million which were placed in an IDB account, and that seemed to have been tied to Amila Falls. That is no longer the case, this sort of linking, but that it might very well be used. In fact, they suggested that maybe we could use that for the solar development which is going to take place.
The sixth payment, which is also due under the agreement totaling approximately $10.5 million, will also be released. Minister Harmon added Norway's former Minister of Environment, now Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP Eric Solheim, also played a role in promoting Guyana's case. The 27 billion Guyana dollars, or 135 million US dollars, the state minister said will be used to transform not only the country, but the lives of every Guyanese in a practical way.
At the level of the ordinary man and woman in Guyana, we expect that there's going to be some direct impact. And this is one of the things, as I said, when we came into office, we criticized was that we did not see the trickling down of the effects of the agreement onto the lives of the ordinary people. And so this is really what is going to happen. We're going to make sure that that is done and that the money is not just spent on just capacity building at the high level, but it goes right down to the people, to the building sustainable livelihoods.
Minister Harman added that Norway has also agreed that natural gas may be used in our energy mix as the country transitions into full renewable energy use. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Allegations of a shortage of insulin at health facilities in some parts of the country have been put to rest. Alexis Rodney spoke with the director of the Materials Management Unit, Cecil Jacks.
Debunking reports of insulin shortages, particularly from two regions, the MMU director said he is deeply disappointed that the information is being peddled in the public when the evidence can speak for itself.
I want the public to know that there is absolutely no shortage of insulin. The 70-30, the soluble, neither the lenti. We have all in stock.
InfoHub visited the Diamond East Bank Demerara facility and viewed insulin supplies stored in the cold storage container. Over the last week, the Ministry of Health has been receiving reports that patients attending certain health facilities for free insulin were being turned away and told to buy the drug instead. According to Jacks, it is unfair that persons have to purchase the costly drug when it is being supplied free of cost by the government. National Director of Pharmacy Service O'Neill Atkins said the ministry was made aware of the issue because of the vigilance of the public.
If the public does not make their loud cry, and if the public, when they go to their clinic, they're not properly registered, that's very, very important, we would not be able to adequately quantify, right? So, one, I want the public to ensure that they're properly registered, so that we can adequately take care of their needs. And two, we want them to be that vigilant to have us know when something is going wrong.
For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Daddy!
The importance of creating an effective Caribbean single market and economy, CSME, was emphasized on Wednesday evening at the opening ceremony of the 39th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government being held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Jamaica. Here's this special report from Arifa Bacchus.
The importance of creating an effective Caribbean single market and economy, CSME, was emphasized on Wednesday evening at the opening ceremony of the 39th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government being held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Jamaica. Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, in his remarks, stated that the CSME has not achieved its potential, and as such, a special session has been planned to examine how it can be improved.
Since the CSME was inaugurated here in Jamaica 12 years ago, we all agree that much has been accomplished under its regimes, but we have not achieved as much as we should have by now. Major policy decisions and adoption of legal instruments take much too long to be negotiated. We must do more and do it more quickly.
Just before the first plenary session on Thursday, President David Granger told InfoHub that CARICOM needs to adopt a fresh and holistic approach to the implementation of the CSME.
I believe that the Caribbean has underexploited its resources. So what I see is that the CSME needs to adopt a fresh approach to production, particularly agricultural production, distribution and marketing. And I think if we took that holistic approach, some of the problems that people complain about would be overcome and solved.
Another issue of importance to be discussed is the report by the Regional Commission on Marijuana, which recommends the legalization of controlled quantities. However, President Granger says Guyana will not be moving in this direction.
We are moving towards removal of custodial sentences for the possession of small amounts of marijuana. We are not moving towards encouraging the industrialization of marijuana production. I think that is a little premature in terms of Guyana's in the context of Guyana. We have vast landscape in comparison with some of the Caribbean island states. We have challenges for enforcement and challenges for control of that land space. And it would be very difficult for Guyana to embark on that course at the present time.
For InfoHub, I am Arifa Bacchus.
Approval has been granted for the construction of a 0.5 megawatt dual hydro system at Mokomoka and a 2.2 megawatt station at Kumu in the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo area. Stefan Gabriel has more.
The announcement was made by Regional Chairman Brian Allicock at the recently concluded Regional Tushals Conference in Lethem. The Mokomoka station will be constructed at a cost of US $2.2 million and Kumu's at US $6.24 million.
The hydro was approved, the Mokomoko, the 0.95 megawatt, and the Kumu, the 2.2 or 2.3 megawatts. So those are the two letters I got, government approving that the hydro be constructed in those two rivers.
The projects are being financed through the United Arab Emirates and the Guyana Red Plus Investment Fund under the Low Carbon Development Strategy. They should be completed in 2.5 years. Minister David Patterson explained that a geotechnical study is currently being undertaken at the Mokomoka Falls area.
There's a site visit which has been scheduled for Mokomoka. There is a geotechnical study which is ongoing at the moment, which is funded by the IDB, and that report will be received in the next quarter, in the third quarter of 2018. As you can remember, there was a failure with the previous hydropower, so we want to ensure that we don't do the same mistake again.
Last month, Minister Patterson announced that several renewable energy projects involving solar, wind, and hydro amounting to some 30 megawatts will be completed by 2020. These are to be constructed in the 3 new townships of Bartika, Lethem, and Mabaruma, as well as Madia, Chumachumari, and several other hinterland areas. Funding has also been secured to commence the hydro project in Kato, Region 8. A US $200,000 0.02 megawatt micro hydro will commence in Mabaruma, Region 1, during the third quarter of this year. Renewable energy projects are also slated for Port Kaituma, Kwakwani, and Matthews Ridge. The multi-billion-dollar projects will set Guyana on the path to meeting international commitment to move to 100% renewable energy by 2025. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
And in our final report, the Ministry of Business, Department of Tourism, and the Caribbean Tourism Organization hosted a Rum Route Forum at the Artichon Conference Center. The meeting discussed the framework under which the region's rum and related products can increase business opportunities, develop intra-regional, national, and community rum tourism. Here's more.
Chief Executive Officer and Secretary General of the CTO, Hugh Riley, said the Caribbean Rum Route initiative will benefit persons at all levels.
We provide through the Caribbean Rum Route opportunity for people at all levels of the spirits industry to get involved, and most especially for people who are at the destination end to understand this powerful magnet which we have to draw people here, and then we can find opportunities to engage their attention.
The CTO is collaborating with several international organizations to fund the project. Minister of Business with Responsibility of Tourism Dominic Gaskin lauded the initiative since he believes it is an exciting way of showcasing an aspect of Guyana's heritage.
This is our story, and we need to share that story because that story has a value. And we need to find a way to share it and to depict it. I think that we need cooperation if we want to develop a rum route in Guyana. It is not something that any one party or any one stakeholder can do.
The flagship initiative by the CTO was launched in 2017 to integrate various activities and interactions related to rum within the Caribbean tourism experience. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
Here now are your bridge and weather reports. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.